Technology can be a wonderful thing. It can produce objects of beauty and fascination, like myself. But sometimes it can let us down. For this episode of the Time Ram podcast, the boys tried a new remote recording platform. The results were disappointing, and the Time Ram podcast would like to apologize for the poor sound quality on some parts of this show. Don't blame them, they're such hard-working, talented boys, and it's not their fault that not all technology is as reliable, efficient and smoking hot as I am. Enjoy the show.
There's something I should like to say. That is, there is something I should very much like you to understand. I do not have the slightest desire to kill you. The only reason I would do so is self-defense. However, since you are aware that I might kill you in self-defense, there is the strong possibility you will kill me in self-defense. It does rather make me wish you understood English.
I do understand English, British Schweinhund.
What? Why did you say something?
I was too full of fury at your patronizing nonsense, going on and on and on.
Yes, all right.
On and on and on.
Shut up! The gunfire. It stopped.
Hey, you two! You can come out of that shell hole. It's the Christmas truce, 1914.
Oh my God.
I'm saved!
I can't believe it.
Come on and join our celebratory football match.
Okay, wait. Football?
Nine!
Wow, those chaps needed to be more sporty.
Get into the back of the van and join us for another episode of Time Ram, a Doctor Who podcast in which we take a random number generator. We roll a number from 1 to 13, and that's our Doctor. Another number from 1 to 300, and that's our story. We ram them together until our thumbs will go weird. My name's Barry Williams, and joining me for this experiment in sound is Paul Ferry.
Oh!
And Rupert Booth.
I'm not from London, you know.
We've come on holiday by mistake.
Putting on Discord by mistake.
We've come on Discord by mistake. Yes, we're recording this episode on Discord, listeners. So if it sounds a bit shit, Discord. That's all I'm saying. And starting as we mean to go on, we've taken the first Doctor, Mr. William Hartnell, and we've rammed him into the 12th Doctor story, Twice Upon a Time. A story which comes at the end of the Peter Capaldi era, in which famously he meets the first Doctor, William Hartnell.
This was unlucky. This was really unlucky, wasn't it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It was.
There's some narrative issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess there's probably a few different ways we could go about dealing with this.
I think each of us has a different way, as I recall.
Possibly, yes. I'm happy to pitch my idea.
Pitch your idea.
Option 1.
Okay, I would open in the TARDIS. There's the Doctor
shit.
there with... Fuck you. With Ben and Polly. And they're having a fine time. And the Doctor collapses. And we build a bit of tension around that until they get him to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't explain what's happening. He just says this old body of mine's wearing a bit thin.
Well, this of course would have been the cliffhanger to the previous story, wouldn't it? The girl who waited or something like that.
Yeah.
Where Ben has to choose between aged Polly and Dolly Bird Polly. Actually, that would work quite well. We'll not get it.
Yeah.
So he lands the TARDIS, goes outside, and he's on this planet full of mud bursts going off around him, and he wanders through this wasteland where he stumbles across another man who we don't quite know who it is at this point. And of course, we discover during the course of the story, this is in fact a later incarnation of the Doctor, possibly even the 12th Doctor.
No, that's
And
well, we'll get to that.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there was.
I'm liking it so
This
far.
is
I'm
how.
liking it apart from the Doctor numbering.
Well, they probably wouldn't specifically number it. They might say it's somewhere between the 12th and the 13th. But we got to remember this is the production team. Innes Lloyd, Jerry Davis, one of the most innovative, creative production teams from the 1960s. These are the guys that gave us The Return of Dr. Mysterio, Sleep No More,
Indeed.
Good Man Goes to War. You know,
Yeah, they
these
did.
are all
A
stories.
lot of bonkers ones. They should be sacked.
Yeah. These are all stories that I would say are like 40, 50 years ahead of their time. You know.
Yeah.
So not all of them work. These guys were fearless. You know, they had no fucks.
Since you're clearly stating your case so early, they're not going to do anyone other than Patrick Troughton. I just do not buy for 1 second that any production team in their right minds doing a regeneration for the first time are going to confuse it.
Well, I mean, the reason for my thinking is that these are two guys that are both at the end of their lives. It doesn't fit with Patrick Troughton that's coming in. And I was trying to think who would be cast.
But like you said, you don't know who Troughton is all the way through. I really like that idea. I mean, that to my mind is about the only way you can make this shitstorm work. Is that you just haven't got a clue who this guy is. I mean, maybe it's going to be obvious, but we'll make sure it isn't obvious. Apart from to anyone who's seen in the papers that Patrick Troughton's playing the next Doctor, and then you can have Troughton. I don't believe they're going to set up a different Doctor and then have him regenerate into another one. I really can't get by that. Not even those mad lads, and they are mad. I realise.
Well, they were mad, yeah. I mean, but they were influenced in later production teams. I can imagine Stephen Moffat being influenced enough by them that when he came to write The Caves of Androzani, he thought, I'll just reference this little...
Yeah, but we haven't got later production teams. This is 1966. As far as they know, it's going to go for a few more weeks and then fail. No, I'm not having all this future tense nonsense. This is time ram, not fantasy cornerage.
Can I pitch mine?
Yes.
Option 2.
My idea is slightly less bizarre, which is that the producers of the movie spin-offs, Milton Sabatsky and Max D. Rosenberg, they've kind of thought it'd be interesting to kind of get a bit of extra free publicity for our next film, Dalek's Invasion Earth 2150 AD, by doing some kind of crossover with the television series. So they go to Innes Lloyd and they go, can we do some kind of crossover with the television series? And he thinks, oh, this is fun.
Because he's so mad.
Yeah, we can get film star Peter Cushing to guest star in our TV Doctor Who, and we get that out of it, and the film people get some free publicity out of it. So they have the Doctor wandering away from the TARDIS, not wanting to regenerate in the TV series, the TV Doctor, Hartnell that is, and he comes across
See, it's getting confusing. See?
Yeah, he comes across Doctor Who. The Doctor Dr. Who. His granddaughter Susan.
Would that be the actual film star Peter Cushing turning up on our TV?
The actual Peter Cushing in a kind of big 4-part advert for his next film.
Option 3.
I don't have a way of doing it. I have no idea. I just know that I didn't, because we vaguely talked about it beforehand. I hadn't heard the whole story pitch, Baz. I really like the story pitch. The only issue at all I have with yours is that it isn't Patrick Troughton. However, I can see logic in it being Peter Cushing. So maybe if we combine the two of these and use Baz's basic storyline, which I really like, and Paul's idea of it actually being Peter Cushing to tie in with publicity, and then spring Patrick Troughton on them, I can get away with that.
Okay.
It's bonk. I mean, I know Innes Lloyd was apparently always puffing away on a pipe. What the fuck he had in that pipe, I have no idea now. Or maybe it was just his first story broken with the Donald Pleasance. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay, well, I can live for that.
Didn't Jerry Davis describe regeneration as something like the dank horror after an LSD trip? Oh, right. I see.
How did you know that?
These are the madmen of Doctor Who. These are Raji. So how does that sit? How does that sit? We'll combine the best bits of both.
Yeah, I can work with that. Yeah. That's
What
all
I
right.
thought with the Peter Cushing thing is, you do sometimes read about things they did on TV in the 60s, and you think, I can't fucking believe they did that.
Oh yeah.
And it just seems like one of those things that you would kind of look back and go, I can't believe they got the people from the film into this.
This is kind of the fallout of Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're going out in style. Hartnell's going out in style. Hartnell is going to be really hard work on this thing because he's going to be massively intimidated by the presence of film star Peter Cushing.
Unless
in
they're
fairness, he is
pals.
film star William
Never
Hartnell.
know.
Yeah, that's true.
Be pals, I don't know.
Could be. Did they ever appear together?
Don't know.
So I was thinking I was trying to think of casting. Who can I cast who's got the right gravitas for it? I was thinking Andre Morel.
He wouldn't do it.
And then I went through the Scottish thing, and I came to Andrew Keir.
The Scottish and the Quatermass thing.
What is quite a massive. So yeah, but yeah, we can do Peter Cushing.
But it's the only way I can make it make sense.
Okay.
I just resist the idea that any producer worth their salt or any story editor worth their salt, which they both were, would make it so. You throw one thing at the audience. That's the rule per episode. Per thing. One mad thing for them to believe. But since they may have already seen Peter Cushing as Doctor Who, then I can just about make some sort of sense of the idea behind it. What the fuck we do about the plot, I have no idea. Bad.
Yeah. Okay. I have to work. Let's see what we can do. I mean, is he playing kindly grandfather Doctor Who?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
In TARDIS.
In TARDIS.
Oh my god, has he got Roberta Toby with him?
Well, presumably.
He will have, won't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that going to drive Hartnell insane? It's going to call her fucking Susan, man. You're taking the piss.
Yeah.
He's going to be off on 5 seconds into seeing Peter Cushing. He's just going to be running at him with his stick, screaming.
Roberta Toby's just wincing every time Hartnell speaks.
Yeah.
It's not my grandfather.
Yeah, I don't know what my.
But they're kind of mostly not in this. They're mostly not in this, are they? Because
well,
I suppose. Well, they'll have to be because it'll be them rather than
his late companion Katerina.
His late companion. Yeah, we're going to just remove all that, aren't we? Let's just remove all that.
It doesn't leave us with much. I'll warn you, but okay. Okay. It's not about the plot.
The ghost of Barbara comes back. Oh god, it's going to be a clusterfuck.
You remember A Good Man Goes to War, don't you?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, all right. So what we're having? So yeah, the Doctor he's refusing to regenerate, and yes, he wanders through wherever he is and meets this other Doctor Who, who's presumably. Is he about to regenerate as well? Or is he kind of just there bumbling along? No, because he's human, so he's not really.
Yeah,
he's human.
Bumbling about.
Yeah.
Can they be on Barnes Common? Really mash it up.
Why not? Why not? But why don't Ben and Polly just go home? Oh, well, you get a nice little bit with them going, look, we're back in Barnes Common in 1966. And Polly's going, but we can't just leave him. Look, he's glowing. There's a weird
thing in the TARDIS. They can't get out. They're like
he's locked him in the TARDIS. He's put him in the magnetic chair from the Dalek, which they're probably quite enjoying.
I quite enjoy being in a magnetic chair, Polly. That'd be fine.
That might explain why Polly's pregnant and A Good Man Goes to War, because he left them both
magnetic chair.
on his magnetic chair. Right.
Yeah.
If the configuration was correct, then hey,
it did occur to me we could have worked.
It is a sailor.
He has got superpowers.
Anymore he hasn't, because he passed Susan's ring, remember?
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Keep up.
So complicated.
We could keep the storyline in Dr. Mysterio where she's married his friend, so maybe she's pregnant from that. So, it kind of could work for her. She could be the mother of River Song. It's kind of...
As it now becomes Kathy Go Who. Kathy Come Who, actually, it'd be, wouldn't it? Fuck that up, oh well.
You know that Doctor Who storyline in the season where sometimes she's pregnant and sometimes she isn't? This is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is exactly what we're doing. Way ahead of Moffat. 1966. God, they were mad, I tell you. Innocent Jerry. Fucking hell.
Yeah. They are on the good shit.
They are indeed, yeah.
That's the exciting thing. Nobody in the universe can do what we're doing.
So yes, well, the Doctor's kind of about to regenerate. He absolutely refuses. He thrusts his hand into whatever's there. No,
So at the end of the previous
Gone.
story, did he collapse to the floor and start glowing, and that's the cliffhanger?
that'd be quite a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the end of the arc where he's vanished and to lead into Toymaker.
yeah.
Cool.
We'll have to remember to put that in when we get round to doing.
When we get to whatever the hell the Smugglers is replaced by.
Oh, Time Lord. Yeah.
I wonder if that's true about the Celestial Toymaker, that one of their plans originally was kind of when he disappeared, when he came back, he'd be a different actor.
Apparently it totally was.
That would have been so weird.
Yeah, it really would.
They just want to get rid of him. Yeah.
But apparently the idea of replacing him with another actor as the Doctor, therefore basically regeneration, goes back as far as John Wiles and Donald Tosh, apparently. Which isn't surprising considering the relationship John Wiles had with Hartnell. Probably after about 3 weeks, kind of right, how can we turn Doctor Who into someone else without Sydney seeing?
Can we do that, Donald?
No.
I don't know how we do that. I don't know, Donald.
No, John.
Is Donald being haunted by the ghost of David Whittaker? Is that what goes on?
I think just all the script editors talk like that, clearly. That's David on the phone. What do you say, David? No, don't do it, David. Said no.
No.
What about Dennis Spooner? I'll ask him. Dennis, no! Right, he says no as well.
Right, stop that. Silly.
Yeah, so the Doctor refuses to regenerate. He stops regeneration, and then everything freezes. Time stops. And this other guy, Doctor Who, realizes. This is quite weird. Yeah, okay. In the original version, 12 realizes that if one dies here, consequences could be profound. So this kind of time is broken.
Oh well, Cushing's much more gentle about it. He doesn't really know. He doesn't have any Time Lord knowledge. He isn't a Time Lord. He's just there, and time has stopped. And he's a scientist. He's intrigued by this.
Yeah.
He's also mildly intrigued by the fact that Hartnell's apparently outside TARDIS. Hartnell's just livid. Kind of goes, "My fucking TARDIS," because that's how he talks.
Yeah, so it's all a bit Space Museum, where they don't really realise why it's happening. All they know is there's two Doctor Who's at the same time, and they probably shouldn't be.
Yeah. I suspect this will be intercut. This will be intercut with the scene in Eeps in 1914, which I suspect that I don't think they're going to do as a flashback in 1966. So they probably introduced the captain earlier.
I would be inclined to say that it would be too expensive to do the location shoot. Oh no, there's quite a lot there at the end as well, isn't there? So they'll be able to, they'd amortise it. Or it could just be in a little kind of mud pit in a corner of the studio.
Little set, a little
tiny set.
Yeah. So yeah, we got this captain, this British captain in a shell hole in.
Right. So who's he being played by? Is it Nicholas Courtney? Nicholas Courtney, I'm telling you.
I suppose it could be.
Yeah.
His own grandfather. Yeah. Fresh off his success as someone.
That last week's episode of The Avengers.
Nobody from the Caesar do. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so Nicholas Courtney facing off against. It should be the guy from the 10th Planet, Wigner. Steve Plytas. Wasn't he actually German?
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
And it gives the connection to the actual last Hartnell story.
We can keep the connection because these two characters, they're played by Mark Gatiss and Toby Whithouse.
Is he really?
Yeah, I had no idea that was him.
Yeah, it's a kind of an in joke, yeah.
Huh.
But it could be like Don Lucarotti and Terry Nation.
They're not members of Equity. They wouldn't be allowed. Not in 1966.
Yeah.
Our lads are mad, but they're not that mad.
Apparently Toby Whithouse, he's able to do a German accent for part of it. But that's them.
You learn something new every day.
Okay, so it's Nicholas Courtney and who did we say?
Steve Plytas.
Steve Plytas. Yeah. Okay. So yes, he's in this situation where they're pointing guns at each other. They can't understand each other, and then time stops. So he climbs out of his shell hole and he sees. This is going to be quite difficult. 1966. He sees a glass figure.
Yeah, they're not going to be glass, are they?
No.
It's going to be at best silver Lurex.
Silver Lurex, or Sensorites.
Oh, they could be all black. They could be like the Cybermen's androids in Earthshock. Just sort of all black leotard type thing with a ovoid face. That's achievable.
Yeah.
They're probably going to look like 10th Planet Cybermen. In all fairness.
Yeah.
Since the
Like
story's been
robots.
designed by Sandra Reed, I mean, yeah.
They didn't have that kind of tight-fitting.
I'll tell you what it'll look like. It'll be a woman, and she'll be dressed like the Alters in Blake 7 in Redemption.
Yeah.
It'll be a sort of spandex one piece, but there'll be kind of bits and pieces of circuitry around
Yeah.
to make it look future. That's what she'll be, I think.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I don't think he sees her for very long, and then there's some sort of strange stuff happens. And he wanders into this other place where these two doctors are, Hartnell and Cushing, and
Well, they get into the TARDIS, don't they?
they do get into the TARDIS. Yeah, I think they
And Cushing's just boggling at the TARDIS.
do they go in Cushing's TARDIS or Hartnell's TARDIS?
They go into Hartnell's TARDIS.
Okay.
I think, don't they? Yes, they do. Yeah, because Hartnell goes in and kind of he says, "Prepare yourself for a shock," and opens the doors and sees the Capaldi console room and goes, "Fuck me," or words to that effect. So yeah, they're going to the Hartnell TARDIS here.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. And Cushing's the one that doesn't know much. Right. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he's staggering around, going,
Okay.
"What?
Where are your wires?
Yeah. How's any of this
any
work?
wires? Well, yeah.
Do you have problems with the fluid links? I know I do."
Where's your big lever? Yeah.
Yeah. And why has no one let the bloody pratfall over it yet?
So presumably Ben and Polly are in there, kind of boggling at this.
Yeah, well, no, they're on the electric chair, the magnetic chair. They're just kind of comporting themselves and going, nothing's happening.
They're doing their own thing, right?
Yeah.
For the next 4 episodes. Okay.
Let's just say that.
Hartnell's put like a folding, a printed screen around them, so Cushing doesn't even know they're there. You know, he's just put a screen around them.
Ignore these young people.
Well, he just doesn't like them that much. I'm not even looking at you.
Just gonna put this screen around you.
That's eccentric. Even by his standards, that is eccentric.
Here's the eccentric Doctor Who.
He is. He really is.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. Innocent Jerry, I had no idea.
Yeah, well, this is where we get a few.
I bet there were dealers around Lime Grove. I bet they're just kind of, if you want anything, just talk to Innocent Jerry. They'll sort you out.
Yeah, they've got the good stuff.
Boy, will they sort you out.
We get some sort of comedy scenes here where, in the original version at least, one is refusing to recognise 12.
That's fine. That can be completely unchanged.
Yeah, well, there's some humour around him being from the 1960s, basically. It's kind of his Edwardian attitudes.
Yeah. Which
wasn't
that bad. I do take a bit of issue with the presentation of the first.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
It's over the
It
top.
really is. It's very much with that and the smack bottom. It's combining several bits that did happen over that era, but concentrating them down into one small story, and missing out on other stuff.
I mean, the first Doctor only ever says that to his own granddaughter. That's the only person who ever says that about this granddaughter.
Indeed.
Which, not
to some
acceptable
stranger
now, but
who is clearly about 22.
It doesn't translate. Yeah. And even in the 60s, he wouldn't have been able to do it. She would have punched him out. It's kind of
Indeed.
the joke is expensive then.
Is there really a screen around Ben and Polly for this entire scene?
Story.
The
story for the entire story.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can do that. They need to be there.
They do need to be there. Need to be involved.
We've got 4 episodes to fill and not a lot of plot, so
So and we need to clarify: is Susan with Durahu?
Susie, would she be back in his TARDIS?
Maybe she's in TARDIS. Yeah.
In TARDIS, yeah. Let's
or
not
he
worry
dropped
about
her
it
off
for
to
now.
learn graphology.
She was there for a moment, and then Hartnell threatened to give her a jolly good smack bottom. And Cushing was going, "No, you just wait in there, Sus. Stay away from this man."
I've heard about people who work with the BBC.
Indeed.
What you need is a jolly good smack bottom.
Yeah, they're kind of arguing. They're in there arguing about who's right. And the captain's heavily confused at this point. Or Nick. When the TARDIS gets picked up. Quite difficult in 1966, but they get picked up by a spaceship.
No. It's just going to be model shot. Entirely possible.
Okay, yeah. I guess this isn't the difficult bit. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, the next bit's the difficult bit. Yeah. This is a piece of piss.
Yeah. Right, okay. So, they get pulled up into a spaceship and they emerge from the TARDIS into the Chamber of Death, basically.
It's a small set. It's quite a small set.
It's a set. Yeah. And there's a big voice There's a big voice.
Mm-hmm.
Call him the Doctor
Dalek
of
can do.
War. Yeah.
This will be Peter Hawkins. Or it could be Roy Skelton, actually. It will be Roy Skelton. It'll sound like that little bit like Zippy.
Call him the Doctor of War. I can't do
Calling
it.
him the Doctor of War. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, it's the woman dressed as an altar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Her saying
Yeah,
it,
it
isn't
is,
it?
yeah.
Glass woman voice.
Yeah, it's a glass woman's voice, basically. Yeah, she turns up towards the end of the
This,
scene. Yeah.
of course, is Helen Mirren.
Actually, yes. Young Helen Mirren. Yes.
Young Helen Mirren. Yeah.
Yeah.
Job.
So, yeah, Cushing is obviously really disturbed to hear the Doctor being called the Doctor of War. He's like,
Or is he? Is he? Because, I mean, he may have fought in the war, Doctor Who, working alongside Baird on secret projects or at Bletchley Park. He may be quite aware of the need for war when you're British.
Yes.
Pretty good. Yes, maybe so.
In a kind of soft centre sort of way.
Yeah.
That's why where he started developing TARDIS.
Yeah, it's actually a war engine. He's going to go back in time and assassinate Hitler.
Mash the Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boffo.
Let's rather take the conflict out of the relationship.
Well, it's only grudgingly I allowed it to be anything other than Patrick Troughton, so shut up.
Okay. Yeah, and this is when Bill arrives. Not Bill.
Ben.
Katerina. I don't know.
Katerina.
Could be Katerina.
Ben comes on
It could be Katerina, but is it wise to complicate it any further?
No. Ben and Polly come out of the TARDIS. Let's just do that.
Yeah. We can give all companion. We can just lose the whole plot line of them being prefigurations and all that sort of thing. We'll have that with Troughton at the end, like a watcher. Maybe we can have Troughton in it. Maybe we can have Troughton all kind of covered in muslin and talcum powder, just watching in the distance, going, "Oh dear."
We're kind of lacking in jeopardy.
They're in a spaceship, being told that they're at war, and well, what happens in the original here? What's the jeopardy here?
Very little.
Right. Well, it's Moffat's fault. That's fine. It's not us.
It is Moffat's fault. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, well, in the original version, Bill arrives, and of course, 12 thinks that she's dead.
Oh, it's got to be Katerina then.
Yeah.
Except that we aren't going to be doing the Dalek Master Plan in the Hartnell era, so it can't be. It's got to be Adric. No, all right, that's just bonkers.
Katerina still has to leave in whatever story that is, so something has to happen to her.
Yeah.
Well, she'll leave in the Dalek Master. Oh no, she won't. Of course, yeah. Well, yeah. God knows.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get Earthshock put there.
She's going to be a really hard companion to introduce if we don't get a historical story.
We just have to really hope that we get Earthshock for the Hartnell era. If we do, we're sorted. There's Katerina.
I suppose what jeopardy there is comes from, I mean, these glass people, the Doctor's very suspicious of them. The glass people basically tell them that they harvest people at their point of death. And one of the people they're going to harvest is the captain, because he's supposed to die in that shell hole. Being a brave chap, he offers to sacrifice himself in order to save Bill, or Katerina perhaps in this one. I don't know.
Could we have it that Cushing Doctor Who actually knows of this guy because he knows the history of the Second World War because he was there, man. And he realises that this man's going to be extremely important in stopping the war or doing something later, and like in is it not Assignment Earth, the Trek episode where they go back in time and have to beam someone up from his plane before it disintegrates in their tractor beam. And they realise that he actually is going to be critically important. Spock says, "No, we've got to put him back. Sorry, it's not that easy. How about we just nick that?"
Actually, if we weren't tied to it being a Lethbridge Stewart, it could be Churchill. Churchill in the First World War.
It wasn't the First World War, yeah.
And he thinks, I've got to save him because he's going to be Churchill.
Churchill had only died a couple of years beforehand. They interrupted defence rights for it. Would they do it? It's a good idea. But I don't think they'd do it realistically. I don't think they might. I mean, these lads are mad. But
we've established that these lads are mad. I mean, Churchill died recently, but I mean, the First World War was 50 years earlier. When you go into his early life, that counts as a historical.
Oh yeah, but this is the BBC in 1966. I would have just thought it would just be vetoed from above. So no, you may not dramatise in this piffle for children.
Recently deceased Prime Minister,
great leader, blah 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 blah. Having said that, it's a lovely idea. I'm not against it at all. I'm just it's just the first thought that came into my head is that someone at the Beeb, a stuffed shirt higher up would go no.
Difficult, isn't it?
Well, maybe innocent Jerry took the guy out to the bar and spiked his drink, obviously, because they know how to do that, got the contacts, and persuaded them, no, we'll be showing Churchill in a very extremely noble light, this is a tribute.
Well, yeah, this is young Churchill. This is not the great war leader. This is a young man where we don't necessarily know it's Churchill for quite a lot of the
Churchill,
story.
then. Well, how about, right, he's Churchill.
We don't name him until episode 4.
So Doctor Who takes the Doctor aside and kind of goes, don't you understand who this is? And Hartnell's just going, stop stealing my fucking scene. This is my last story. Peter fucking Cushing.
It's just some. Well, I don't think Churchill was a captain. It's like Lieutenant General or something. But some officer. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Churchill. Nice. Well, there's the Jeopardy, and that's really good Jeopardy actually, because everyone knows who Churchill is. Everyone watching this is going to go.
The other guy in the pit at the beginning is young Adolf Schicklgruber.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Played by Clive Dunn.
And so Cushing's going, kill him!
This is the whole reason I built TARDIS. That's why he's there. He set TARDIS to go back to kill Hitler. That's why Susie's waiting inside. I don't want you to see this, kid. I don't want you to see what I'm going to become now.
Oh, I've just thought something. In 1914, Churchill was still just a politician. He didn't go and fight in the trenches until much later.
Well, it's science fiction.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm prepared to go with it. It's just historically, it's not very accurate. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 14, though, does it? I mean, in all honesty, the football match thing is really crowbarred in. It doesn't really have any place in the story.
It bashes you over the head with a message. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we said it in 1917, and then came out of trouble somehow later on. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Got to be as mad as those lads were.
Commercial time.
The Vervoids are probably the best dirty joke in Doctor Who.
They're hermaphroditic plants.
A lot of plants are.
So there you go. It's based on science.
No, they'll ship anything.
There are probably 11 and handle shippers out there. You just have to drill a hole where his mouth is, and you're all set.
He needs the room. I've seen it in pictures.
I'm not saying you're not a fan. I'm saying you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Doctor Who gives a drunken Doctor Who podcast for the end times. They all say who is Doctor Who?
Do you collect Doctor Who? Do you have Doctor Who items and you don't know that you collect Doctor Who? For all things in the Doctor Who collecting world, tune in to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast, a Direction Point Network podcast. I am Larry Van Mersbergen, your host, and I have been collecting Doctor Who for 41 years. We have popular features like collection protection and the most outrageous offer. Anywhere you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Time Ram, and whatever you do, keep time ramming.
Churchill offers to sacrifice himself to save Katerina or Ben or whoever it is at this point.
Yeah, we haven't solved that because Katerina doesn't die. She does die. Yeah, she died in Earthshock if we get Earthshock. Yeah. Right, whatever story we get, she just is brutally murdered halfway through, whatever happens.
Yeah. We'll kill her up in something. Yeah.
We'll find a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rips over a stone at the beginning of episode 4 and falls on the ground and her head smashes open on the impact.
Yeah.
She shatters into porcelain. They go, wow, Katerina was porcelain. Extraordinary.
We'll kill her in front of us, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So...
she'll get put into the machine at the end of episode 3 going, look at the mining machine. It's Katerina.
Really emphasise the body horror there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Katerina!
We kind of need this to be getting towards the end of episode 1 somehow at this point.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a 4-part. Well, it is going to be a 4-part. There's going to be a
4-part. Yeah, it has to be, really. Yeah.
Aren't they about to leap out? So they're gonna kill Churchill.
Churchill, yeah, and then they decide to leave. Yeah.
So they decide to leave, but they can't. I can't remember what happened. It's a couple of weeks ago. I watched it now.
Yeah.
Can't get into the TARDIS, so they have to hang on to it.
Basically, yeah. The Doctor has a big speech where he says he's going to defy them.
Mm-hmm.
And well, in the original version, they show one. I guess in this version, they show Cushing, who this guy is, what he's really about, how many Daleks he's killed. He's appalled
He's astonished. I mean, he's just amazed by it.
Yeah, and then they that's when they decide to run.
So that's really nice because you have the film Doctor with all the production values and stuff being amazed at Hartnell, and Hartnell's just standing there and loving it, and that's really nice for his last story. It's a nice little recap. Kind of going, this is why the Doctor's amazing.
Yeah, good. All right, yeah. So we crash into episode 2 when they have a daring escape. In the original version, they have to climb down some chains onto the TARDIS. This is the bit where I'm thinking.
Well,
crashing.
It was doable. They could shoot it at Ealing. Hartnell being close up and doubled by, of course, Edmund Warwick. Or Terry Walsh, who'd be totally the wrong shape and size, but who gives a fuck? Or Derek Ware. Actually, be Derek Ware. So it could be done. Who's directing this? Derek Martinez. Derek Martinez might push the boat out. Thank fuck it isn't Richard Martin. Derek Martinez. I mean, he's got Fraser Hines dangling from a rope for real in either of the Daleks when he climbs up to the balcony. So yeah, I think he's making Hartnell dangle. Hartnell and Cushing.
Oh, and Cushing.
Dangling. Yeah. Don't see that every day.
Yeah. You don't. No, that's true.
And Ben and Polly, of course. Polly sensibly decides to wear trousers for this story.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, a dress got stained earlier, so yeah.
Oh yes, on the magnetic chair with Ben, of course. Yeah.
Oh dear.
You are disgusting.
So yeah, they run for it, and they have to drop off the TARDIS. That's right. And then, fortunately, there's another TARDIS there. There's Cushing's TARDIS.
Cushing's TARDIS.
Cushing's TARDIS. So they can run into that.
So they run to TARDIS.
And
do a complete reversal of the previous scene where Cushing was amazed at the TARDIS, with Hartnell coming in and going, "What is this?
Who are you?"
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Doctor Who. We could be anywhere in the universe. And at any time. Absolutely fascinating.
It's all these wires.
Well, it wouldn't be all these wires. It would be the second one. It would be the one because they're publicising the invasion of Earth 2150 AD. So it's the one that's kind of less interesting. I think it's a much less interesting set.
Yeah.
All this sort of neon tubes and white. Still got the big lever though.
Yeah, that's good.
Is Susan in there?
Susan, yes.
Possibly his niece Louise.
Didn't we agree about the graphology excuse, and then we just don't have to worry about it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Susan's gone off with his niece Louise.
Yeah.
To learn graphology.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the BBC record at the time, in the late evenings on a Saturday after full-day rehearsals, they're not going to be putting Roberta Tovey through that, I think. I think even then they had laws against that. So, it seems unlikely.
But Cribbins could be in there.
That'd be great. Yeah. I mean, we've got too many people in it already. But
it's not going to happen, I realise now. It's not a sensible idea.
Just runs up at some point in the end,
I think, him and Roy Castle run up and we do a complete crossover. They'll both come to date some of Doctor Who's female relatives. It's just a TARDIS or a fucking knocking shop.
Adjusting the screens.
Yeah. Cushing says, "Oh, really? What was going on behind your screens then? How dare you, sir?"
Part of boasting his TARDIS is wiped clean.
You are disgusting.
Right, so we're on episode 2. So they're inside this TARDIS. I would suspect Hartnell's not that impressed with it.
No.
And he's wondering, I guess, why or how this human scientist has built a time and space machine that looks like his marvelous TARDIS.
Yeah.
Might need to address that at some point.
I know why. I know why. I know how. It's just come to me. Because Houghton told him how to at some point in his past and the Doctor's future.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Patrick Troughton, the answer to everything.
So Hartnell, our Doctor, says that he needs a big database. He needs to find out who these people are. I don't know if they've named themselves. They might not have. I don't think they have. He needs to find out who they are. So he steers the TARDIS. No, he doesn't steer the TARDIS.
Well, Cushing steers the TARDIS.
Peter Cushing's TARDIS.
And there's no reason why Cushing can't, because, as far as we know, TARDIS works fine.
I can now set the controls for anywhere in time and space that we wish to go.
Yeah, so Cushing can take them to where they need to go.
Yeah.
He has a little word with him.
After dissing his TARDIS for 5 minutes solid, kind of goes, "Yeah, does it work, though?" And Cushing goes, "Yeah, And then there's like 5 minutes back
Yeah, do you
from
wanna go?
Cushing going, "Oh, does yours not then?" And it's
quite
lovely
good, yeah.
character stuff.
Yeah, we can get some character stuff in here. Yeah. Okay. They land on this planet. It's alien planet in amongst these ruins. It's not necessarily clear where they are straight away, but there's these blobby mutants around the place that start attacking them.
Yeah.
And it's, no.
There might be a blobby mutant around, but it's going to be like Power of the Daleks. It's going to go "Ruh," and vanish under a thing, and it's going to be a pile of foam on a hand. And we're going to see it once and briefly.
Maybe there's a slider. They can fight a slider. There's a slider. Maybe a slider.
There you go. There we are.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't do that, man. They'd have to pay Terry Nation for it. Oh, they're paying him for the Dalek anyway. What the hell?
Oh yeah, it's already
Well,
Daleks.
yeah. Unless we make it a Cyberman or something, it's going to have to be a Dalek. Yeah. So yeah,
it's going to have to be a Dalek. Oh, I like it. It's a Dalek again. Hartnell's last story. Why not?
Yeah.
For
all we know, it's the first time he's ever faced them. That'd be really bad luck considering this plotline, actually.
Yeah.
It's all right. There's loads of Dalek stories. We will get one for Hartnell. Yeah. And if at the end of time round we haven't, then that's really, really cruel of it.
We'll assume. Yeah.
We'll assume. Yeah.
We'll assume. Yeah. If necessary, we'll keep story 2 as the Daleks. I know it's kind of. So yeah, we need to pad this out probably quite a lot. So they have some adventures amongst these ruins.
Yeah.
Ben and Polly obviously getting involved. They're running from sliders.
Yeah.
Stuff's going on.
There's a Magnodon.
It's kicking off.
Just standing there.
They're going to have to sort
What's
some
down there?
puzzles, aren't they, to get into the tower? They're going to have to sort some, thing with magnets and
some stuff with
Mercury
magnets
and
going
shit.
on. Yeah, definitely.
With some Mercury or something.
Yeah.
It's like a crap version of Sapphire and Steel, magnets and Mercury.
It was like the adventure game, it's the kind
Magnets and Mercury have been assigned.
It's like writing interactive media. You've got to put puzzles in,
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, yes, we get some traps, we get some danger. Eventually, Hartnell
slithers.
He says,
"Well, one slither."
Yeah, there's one slither. Yeah, which you don't see very well because they try to build it, but it's not great. Eventually,
Nick Evans came back. That was nice. Nick Evans came back to reprise his role.
Oh, good. From what?
Hartnell said, "There's only one man in this country who knows how to play a slither."
Yeah. What story is he coming back from?
Dalek Invasion of Earth. Well, he's coming back from the Christopher Eccleston story Dalek, which inexplicably has a slither in it as well. In Hartnell era, it's called Dalek and Slither.
Well, yeah, because it's a 6-part, so obviously, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Right back there in season 1. Ian, Barbara, and Susan. Dalek and Slither. It's a classic. Shame it doesn't exist. 7 parts wiped, and yet it was one of the most distributed stories, apparently. But we haven't got a bit of it. Not one moving frame.
Yeah.
Dalek and Slither. Still.
Every time. But
we can take the Immortals
like
word.
this one. Yeah. So, it looked a bit shit.
It's good in telly snaps, though.
This is the Doctor. President Light, the High Council of Time Lords. Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
Eventually, Hartnell insists on going on loan. He sends them back to the TARDIS. He tells Ben and Polly to get out of danger. And
whispers to Ben, just magnetic chair time, baby.
Yeah.
Ben goes, "Blimey, again? Come on, Paul." And they run off like the young things they are.
I used to be a superhero, Duchess. But Cushing follows him. He wants to know what's going on. He's very suspicious. So eventually they make it to this tower. And that's where they get shot at.
Well, the screen goes negative.
Yeah.
That's what happens here.
Yeah. There's some negative effects, which kind of stops when Hartnell shouts that he's dying. And
that a cliffhanger to episode 2? That'd be a really strong cliffhanger to episode 2, actually.
It might need to be we probably
if we put enough slither action in it, then that's a great end of the episode. Close up on Hartnell, you're looking proud but scared, which he took himself. really sell it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's on the bells.
Yep.
Good. Yeah. Goes very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then episode 3, obviously, he just collapses out of shot from the back.
And Cushing takes on all the dialogue. Thank God he's there. Playing a character called Doctor Who, that's really useful.
It's really useful.
Innocent and Jerry are clinking their glasses and going, "Oh, we're not so mad, are we?"
I thought about that, didn't we?
Say on the 6th floor. So Donald Baverstock the other day, what did you do? I cut him because he hadn't paid.
So yes, Cushing calls Ben out of the TARDIS, and Ben gets all of Hartnell's dialogue, and then Cushing goes into the tower, presumably. I guess that's what we'll have to do. Yeah,
that's what we'll have to do. Yeah.
Well,
he's sitting there and silently on the magic chair, going, "Oh well." Twiddle my thumbs then.
Yeah.
Churchill.
Churchill's entertaining. It's fine. Yeah. And Katerina's still around.
Is Katerina still there? Oh God, she is, isn't she?
She's gonna have to be.
Yeah, she does have to be. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Hartnell confided to Cushing at some point that Katerina died? Yet? Because they would do, because that would just remind the viewers in case they hadn't seen Earthshock.
Yeah. The Cushing goes up the TARDIS. Goes up the tower.
Yep.
And we can perhaps focus on what's happening in the TARDIS at this point, because we got we got Churchill there talking about family holidays in Chroma, and
Polly, who knows exactly what's going to happen with him. That would be really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Polly knows perfectly well who he is and what his significance is.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it would actually really give Annika Wills something to do as well, which is always good.
And she can be starting to get a little bit suspicious of Katerina, who is just occasionally just looking a little bit, shall we say, a little bit glassy. Yeah. So eventually Katerina steps outside, and she goes and joins Ben, who is standing over Hartnell's body.
I don't know what happened, Duchess. He just suddenly fainted. Blimey! I mean, that's basically what he says in the 10th planet, isn't it?
They'll throw a tarpaulin over him like in the Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Just with his boots sticking out, yeah. Yeah, we'll do that, yeah. Okay.
Gordon Craig, actually, won't it? He doubled him in The Smuggler, so it'll be Gordon Craig rather than presumably Edward Warwick's off doing Hamlet or something.
Yeah. That man's got a career going. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
He's not actually playing Hamlet. He's just kind of, when the actor who's playing Hamlet's not available, he just stands there and looks nothing like him.
He bought a ticket, he's sitting in the theatre watching it. But as far as he's concerned, he's doing Hamlet. And it's definitive.
It's going on his CV, regardless.
Yeah. Hamlet, what context? Just Hamlet. I was there.
So I joined the RSC for one evening.
In my mind.
I had to pay to get in, but it was fine. I joined them.
Actually, we may be doing Edward Warwick a disservice. I have no idea what his acting career was like apart from Doctor Who. That's terrible.
But,
it's not terrible. I've got a life.
Well, from his performance in The Chase, I mean, obviously he's up against.
Yeah, he wasn't an impressionist. But...
Yeah.
In Keys and Mariners.
Is he in Keys and Mariners? Okay.
He's the old guy in the Screaming Jungle.
Oh yeah, right. I have to watch that again. I can't remember what he does.
Yeah, I'm saying he's fine. I think he's fine. I can't really say for sure.
But this way, we're talking about him 60 years later, which is more
True.
than can be said for a lot of people.
Yeah, but that really speaks to us rather than to him, I think.
Yes. Okay. So we have this quite interesting conversation in the original version. Obviously, it's between Glass Bill and the First Doctor. Not played by Hartnell, of course. Played by
David Bradley.
Bradley, and she asked him why he left Gallifrey. And he says that he left to find out why good prevails over evil.
We can cut out Gallifrey.
We cut Gallifrey, but I mean, in this version, we've got maybe Katerina asking Ben why the Doctor left home and exploring the universe.
Ben got a fucking clue, love.
And Ben goes, well, he told me that he left to find out why good prevails over evil.
Rapidly taking on some Hartnell dialogue, yeah.
That's exactly what he does in episode 3 of the 10th planet. So.
Indeed, and superbly.
Yeah, Katerina gets it, but Ben doesn't get it. But Katerina's like, yeah, he's amazing. This guy on the floor here, the Doctor.
Yeah, under his top. Greg Martinez puts in a quick sensitive wide shot of the three of them. Dead Katerina, once superpowered Ben, and Gordon Craig under his tarp with his shoes poking out.
So yeah, she's happy she's got the testimony, basically. Meanwhile, up in this tower, we get some scenes with Cushing. Cushing's really getting to deliver in this episode. It's quite a good one for Cushing.
Yeah.
He's the one that's solving the mystery. He meets this Dalek. It's Rusty the Dalek, the good Dalek.
It's a Dalek.
It's a Dalek.
That we find a plot contrivance for as to why it's nice and giving lots of information.
Yeah.
It's the last Dalek. It's the last Dalek ever.
Yeah, okay.
The movie Dalek.
It would. Well, it should be. Well, it wouldn't be though, would it? Because they wouldn't hire one. It'd probably be the Black Dalek.
Well, they did have movie Daleks. They used some movie Daleks in the chase. So
yeah, but they've also got their own Daleks, which don't cost anything to hire. They can use one of their own Daleks. They're not that mad. They've got to save after the Donald Pleasance as well. You know, they overspent massively on that.
Is Rusty the stupid Dalek?
Let me check my database.
Carrying two.
So it takes him quite a while. But he does find a file for Dr. Helen Clay from the year 5 billion.
Of course,
who
it's
found
kind
the
of interesting,
testimony.
isn't it? Because it's very much computer terminology we're familiar with, but he's not going to find a file, is he? I suppose he might. In a filing cabinet, you'd have files. Maybe.
He's got a whole punch card with all this information about Helen Clay.
It's going to be a trimensional color vision recording or something like that. It's going to be a video or something.
It's going to be basically a big old tape.
Yeah.
He's going to put this tape on. It's going to go round and round and round.
Put the tape on, yeah.
And then the time-space visualizer comes up with a picture of Dr. Helen Clay, played by Helen Mirren.
It'd be either some recognizable 20th century technology or anything sort of futuristic is represented by just like a square block of wood. It's like brightly colored, that somebody puts in a slot and that does amazing things,
Yeah, it'll be like an Enterprise. It'll be a block of wood you put in a slot, press the button, and the light comes on, and then we get Helen Mirren on screen.
Helen Mirren on screen,
standing against black drapes in another part of the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, doing it just effectively live. Yeah, talking about how she founded Testimony, who set themselves up to take the near dead from the time stream to harvest their memories and then return them to the point of their death. So this is kind of the point where any jeopardy that there was leaches out of the story, really, because the Doctor realizes that it's not an evil plan. And this is the point where Katerina stops time and says, what you going to do? Yeah.
Right, so skip to the end. And
So, well, we need something to fill the running time to the end of episode 3, but we kind of...
the Dalek isn't actually good. It's just held there, and it comes free of its bonds, and comes after Cushing.
Yes. We get a lift shaft scene, running away.
And Cushing has to deal with the Dalek. That's what happens.
Okay. Yeah, good.
And he's getting suspicious about it. And we also, during this, because Katerina's there to help him, we get an info dump about Katerina, because he doesn't know anything about this girl at all. He doesn't even know that she's died or how she died. So, to refresh the memories of the viewer, to get that bit here, who are you? Why are you helping me?
Yeah.
Maybe Cushing finds a microphone and goes, "Attention all slithers, attack the Daleks."
That's exactly what he does. And a slither attacks the Dalek. It's Nick Evans again.
The whole thing turns out to be a massive trap. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. That's he's too clever for them.
Yeah, he's Doctor Who.
He's Doctor Who.
Don't fuck fuck your shit up, big time.
So they run back to the TARDIS, but this is basically Testimony want to know why the Doctor won't regenerate. So they run back to TARDIS. And it's the fact that the Doctor won't regenerate that caused the timeline error.
So we're actually setting it up. We're setting regeneration up then. Whereas in the 10th planet, we just get it at the end of it. It's kind of like, right, I'm going to do this now.
We don't necessarily have to use the word, but perhaps we have to say, look,
change, rejuvenate, whatever.
Yeah. Renew.
Renew.
Yeah.
I think renew would be the word.
Renew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to renew.
No.
He likes being Hartnell. Yeah, so he can't explain it. Ben's explaining. Oh yeah, no, the Doc likes being Hartnell.
Yeah. Funny thing, he just told me just yesterday how much he really enjoyed being himself.
We need to get into episode 4.
Who'd have thunk it?
Let's have a cliffhanger. Let's have a cliffhanger where they're running away from these Daleks, and then Hartnell can pop up again and explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. 5 Daleks then. Well, 4 Daleks.
Yeah.
Possibly a cardboard cutout or 2.
Yeah. They exterminate the TARDIS. TARDIS disappears.
Yeah.
End of episode.
Yeah.
And then turns out in this one, no, we just dematerialized. We're fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Is
Hartnell-
TARDIS proof against weapons in the same way that the TARDIS is? We don't know. Is TARDIS indestructible?
It has a bunch of shit fall on it in 2150 AD, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but that's not
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I mean, bit of bridge, isn't it?
He just dematerializes in time, doesn't he? So they just shoot each other. So, in a plot line that Stephen Moffat would probably use at some point or something.
So the cliffhanger is they run into the TARDIS, well known as the device that can dematerialize, and the Daleks fire at the TARDIS.
Well, I'm open to ideas here, but
yeah, fair enough.
Under the leadership of that Dalek, it was like fire.
And the Slither blunders about and gets in the way of the blast to kill the Slither, and he's really upset about that because he liked that Slither.
Yeah.
Favourite one.
Yeah, we never do it where someone escapes and he gets captured again. You know, we do all that. You know, everything we can do to fill the running time. Because we're now at the point where we need to return Churchill to the time stream.
Yeah.
So they go back to World War One, and they make him climb back into his shell hole. But Doctor Who, obviously, Cushing is kind of saying, "No, this doesn't work. It's not right."
And they've all worked out who Katerina is now, haven't they?
They've
all worked out she's not real, and
she's not real. She's she's a sort of avatar of the real Katerina, who has popped up to tell them about testimony, basically.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the televised version, this captain guy turns out to be Captain Archibald Hamish Lethbridge Stewart, some unspecified relative of the Brigadier. But as soon as he gets back in his shell hole, time restarts.
Father.
Too old to be his father. That's not going to work.
You know, Churchill.
Doesn't he say? Oh yeah, Churchill. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. It's Churchill and ours, yeah.
We can't really have Nicholas Courtney playing Churchill anymore, can we?
Really? No.
Let's say some portly bloke, but he probably wasn't portly when he was in the army. So.
No, he was a sort of, he was sort of ginger, sort of fairly round guy. He wasn't,
Arthur Lowe? No, it'd be too old.
No, Arthur Lowe probably would be about right, actually. Yeah.
Arthur Lowe?
Yeah.
Arthur Lowe.
Yeah, or not. Yeah.
Hartnell would probably love that. He'd love acting with Arthur Lowe. That would,
Yeah, wasn't Arthur Lowe basically exactly the same as Hartnell? He was kind of bad-tempered and forgot his lines all the time. So it's going to be Cushing is just going to be being passed notes all the time and going, "You're seriously giving me the hard drugs for this and this, right? I want the good shit this time. Not that crap you passed off last time, right?"
So the war restarts, but we can't have the Christmas miracle of 1914. So maybe Cushing just jumps in and can speak German. I don't know. He does something to stop this happening.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe young Cushing's there fighting in the war, young Doctor Who, before he became Doctor Who, and old Doctor Who goes up to young Dash can be really complicated.
Corporal Who, yeah.
Corporal Who.
Well, Peter Cushing was playing Doctor Who under makeup so that he could play both roles.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that. I mean, it took them until Enemy of the World to even just do a 5-second split screen. Like that. On film. Mind you, this could be on film rather than being a corner of the studio that could have actually gone out to a quarry. Brian rubbish tip like the War Games.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this is going to sound mad. Maybe Troughton gave Doctor Who the secret of time travel so that he could go back in time and get himself to save Churchill.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly
timelines in the right order.
That's totally what happened. Yep.
Yes.
So, Hartnell turns up back in Ypres in 1917, and young Peter Cushing comes riding over the hill.
Yep.
And saves everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Troughton standing in the background and then just pensively walking away.
Yeah.
Vanishing into the fog and the mist.
Yeah. Okay. That almost works.
Drifting across the battlefield.
obviously in the original version, this is 1914. We get the Christmas Miracle 1914. 12 has moved time on a few hours to make it happen. And 1 basically talks about what it means to be a Doctor of War. This is what it is. And 12 says basically the universe is not a fairy tale, but that's where we come in. Quite a nice message in there. None of which we can use.
I think it'd be nice for Hartnell to say that bit to Cushing, this is where we come in, because he wouldn't have accepted him all the way through, but eventually he's just going, look, all right, whatever, you're a human, I don't know what you are, you don't know what I am, we're both the Doctor, in a way, do what you do.
Yeah.
And I must now go what I must do.
Yeah.
Except in English. I must now go what I must do. Bloody hell.
The Cushing says, I understand now.
That's probably the way Hartnell would say it, actually.
You probably would. He said long 4 weeks, bless him.
Yeah. Well, 3 weeks.
So, he's had a holiday, but yeah. So, Cushing basically leaves at this point. He kind of he accepts that, he will never be the same as the Time Lord.
He's going to do that scene in the door of the TARDIS where he's just kind of waving, isn't he?
Yeah.
The music going.
So Hartnell's still undecided. He's still thinking about whether he wants to regenerate or not. There's some scenes here where the Doctor gets given his memories of Clara back, and then Nardole turns up. So,
let's see and Barbara in it.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if they get him back, but maybe Ben and Polly are trying to persuade him. Come on,
you don't have to get them back. Everything else that's gone on in this episode, and you're balking at that.
It's a step too far. So Katerina has to kind of chip in.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what happens. Katerina turns into Susan.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. That works better. Yeah.
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 And one day I shall come back bit and just stand there kind of going, well, crack on, mate.
So, yeah.
And the Doctor beautifully puts Susan's ring on it. So there you go. I'll retrieve that from Ben.
I won't go into more details, but...
No, just wear it. It'll make me laugh. I haven't washed it yet.
Okay.
No, it's a facsimile. It's a nasty construct that's been pissing them about all story. This is his bit of revenge.
Okay.
This is the first Doctor's final victory.
He's giving her a dirty ring, and then he's like, I'm ready to regenerate now.
Yep. Gives a facsimile of his granddaughter a dirty ring. There's nothing at all wrong with that.
What he needs is a jolly good smack bottom.
But no, they do a nice kind of tender scene with Karen Ann Ford and Hartnell.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
And she fades away. Simple dissolve.
It's a shame they wiped this episode. It would have been really nice.
It's a great shame. Yeah. Well, we've got a tiny fragment of 8mm of that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after he goes in the back in the TARDIS, presumably.
Yeah, well, you don't see Karen Ann Ford at all. Yeah. So he goes into the TARDIS and he thinks he's alone, but actually Ben and Polly are behind their screen. And he kind of stands there and waits a bit and kind of goes, you finished yet? I'm going to do something really dramatic. And just a minute.
Joe, it's far from being all over.
It is now.
Right, it's all over now. It's literally everywhere.
Yeah, and then he turns into Troughton.
And he turns to Troughton.
Yeah.
So what was Troughton's appearance in this? Did we see him in a flashback talking to Cushing, young Cushing?
Yeah, maybe we should. Yeah, we have him actually turn up in a couple of lines. Yeah. Trying to explain what the hell's going on here. Yeah, because Lloyd and Davis have a certain amount of duty of care, I would say, to the audience.
When they're not completely off their noodles. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so the BBC announcer on the end titles goes, and you can see Peter Cushing as Doctor Who in the new motion picture Doctor Who Dalek Invasion Earth 2150 AD.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, next week.
Which we can't tell you about because it's the BBC and that's advertising.
At the very, very, very end of it comes up with a caption going, next week, the brain of Morbius. Just to even confuse things further.
It would have to be a first story of some kind, wouldn't it? It's going to be like the Twin Dilemma or Time of the Rani or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Spearhead.
Yeah.
Spearhead's really on Troughton-like story.
That's going to be difficult for anybody apart from Pertwee, but...
It is Lloyd, man. It's just off their fucking nuts.
Or we'll get a nursey child. I still
Entirely
fear the
right.
day when we
Yeah,
get a
that's
nursey
gonna be
child.
really
I think
Yeah.
that might actually be more difficult than anything we've done before.
Yeah. Well, this was pretty difficult. So yeah.
It was, but it wasn't. It was no good. Man Goes to War. Maybe we're just tired and veterans now. Maybe we just know what to do.
Yeah.
Explainment.
So with a due sense of trepidation, I have to ask: is this better or worse than the original?
It's worse.
It is worse, yeah.
Because we had the culture. It's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Is it better than the 10th Planet?
No.
No.
I mean, we've had to, like you say, we've made it work, but we've had to really contort it to get it to make any kind of sense.
Yeah.
So, no, it's no way it's going to be as good.
But you know, it would be great to have William Hartnell and Peter Cushing and Patrick Troughton all in one. We've done the Three Doctors way before the Three Doctors.
That's true.
You know, and I love Ben and Polly. Want superpowered Ben and constantly pregnant Polly.
Is she pregnant? Is she not? We don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Over the next few stories, it'll be that back and forth thing.
Yeah.
Because they're doing social realism in Doctor Who for some inexplicable reason. I'll roll the numbers then. Doctor 11.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Smith.
In story 224. Possibly Matt Smith.
It might well be. In fact, it will be. Yeah, it will be. Just to revolve.
Okay, so Matt Smith's our Doctor. And there's a mouse click there. Just got to do one live.
Okay, yeah. Are you rolling? Yeah.
And we've got 51.
51. 51. Well, I know from the top of my head that there's. Well, I know from the top of my head there's 50 stories in the black and white era. So 51. Yeah, it's Spearhead for Space.
Spearhead.
Excellent. Yeah. So right, that's interesting.
So we've gone from one regeneration end story to the beginning
of another.
Yeah.
Another. I can't see Amy Pond's character fitting very well into this, mind you. She's not really a scientist in Cambridge, is she?
No, this is awkward. I don't know how we get gags about the internet and internet history. In
lots of gags about the internet. Unit, joining unit.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't easy. No, okay. Yeah. Wow.
What have we done?
Kind of doesn't have to stay with unit at the end of it, though. That's the thing. Though. It could be like a unit story.
Indeed, it'll be a unit story, and it'll be new unit.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Well, we'll come back to that. Yeah. So join us next time for Matt Smith in Spearhead from Space. Spearhead from Space.
Yes.
I've been Barry Williams, and with me tonight have been Rupert Booth and Paul Ferry.
Bye.
Ooga.
I need also to thank Ben Jones for providing us with our music. You can find us on Twitter. Just use the hashtag TimeRam. We're all there. I'm there as TimeRam. Rupert is at Rupert Booth, and Paul is at Paul38. We also have our own website, timeram.com. You can get more information there. Do please check out the info links from each episode. They make me smile every time. If you want to support the show, we have a Patreon site. Do please consider taking a subscription there, or it will also be useful if you could leave us a review somewhere like Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Thank you and good night. We'll see you next time.
There's a drunk just come on. Do I know you, young sir? I am Cushing. Well, that's a nasty habit for a start. Yes. Your face looks familiar. Yes, vaguely familiar. Yeah. I've come for my money. You mustn't say things like that. He's got to last me another 3 months, yeah? I hate to interrupt you when you're working, sir. You are working, aren't you? And I don't like to bring this up in front of people. The people are watching, aren't they? But it is a matter of my money.
Yes.
I worked with you when you were on the other side.
You mean when I was like this?
When we were like this? No. When you were with the BBC.
Oh. Is it all right to say the BBC?
Yes, it is all right to say the BBC.
The BBC. Yeah, bring back comedy.
I'm sorry to be so insistent, but I am not moving from here until I get my money.
Yes, I don't understand.
Yes.
But the point is, we'll have to have a little conference about it all.
Yes,
You see.
we'll think about it.
Do your tap dance while we're off. Do your tap dance.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I can't tap dance. You can't.
We can do anything. I mean, bite somebody's neck. Anything will do.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.